Hi, my name's Carolyn. I'm from Australia. I've been thinking a long time that I want to have my neck lifted. I had two very strong platysmal cords, and I noticed it about 10 years ago when I was a trainer, and I would be on video, being videotaped, and then I would watch it and see these platysmal cords when I spoke, and I hated them. So I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I was researching. I actually researched going to Thailand. A lot of Australians go to Thailand. And then an opportunity came to come to India, to New Delhi with my partner. So he said, why don't you look for a doctor in New Delhi? So I did, and he said, very good doctors. You know, we have many, many good doctors from India in Australia. So I researched, and I found Dr Gupta, Dr Rajat Gupta, through Real Self and what's the other one? The doc one? What doc I think it is. And I started reading reviews because I think it's really important to hear what other people have to say, get real feedback from people. And the feedback was excellent. So I decided then that I would, when I came to India, no, actually before I came to India, I contacted them via email, I believe, through the website, and straight away, very responsive. Rena was Dr Gupta's personal assistant, and she was extremely good. We were back and forth on WhatsApp within a day, and a video interview was arranged for me to speak with the doctor, and that was fantastic because I could actually speak to the doctor, and we did that for probably 3/4 of an hour. I had a very solid discussion around what I wanted. I'd also decided that I wanted my neck, and apart from my neck, I wanted my jawline firmed up. I am 62, so I did not want to look 40. It was very important to me that I got a natural result where I only wanted lower mid-face lift and the neck tightened. And Doctor was extremely happy to hear that from me. He was more than happy to do exactly what I wanted. So once we were in the hospital was just wonderful. I was at Rosewalk Hospital, a very modern, very clean, really a prestige luxury type of hospital. My room was lovely. I felt like I was in a hotel room. And the thing that really impressed me was the nursing staff in particular. I felt like I had a nurse who was just outside my room. I needed anything or wanted anything in the first 24 hours after the operation. You're obviously very groggy, a bit sore, wondering what's going on. I had English-speaking nurses who looked after me beautifully. And I'll say this too, that a friend of mine went to Thailand, and that for her was the worst part of her experience, because one thing, she did not meet the doctor until she arrived, until she arrived in Thailand. And number two, her nursing staff could not speak any English. They basically just giggled nervously and walked away whenever she asked them a question. And that really, she found that very difficult. So for me, my experience was excellent in the hospital, and it is a lovely hospital. I would encourage anyone to come to it. So for me, the morning after, when I woke up, you're bandaged, and I knew that one side of my face was a little more swollen than the other side. And I remembered then that it wasn't Dr Gupta, it was his other doctor, Dr. Priya. She explained to me that during the surgery, I'd had a blood pressure spike, quite normal apparently, that can happen. So I bled a little bit more on one side. So it was really good to understand why one side was more swollen than the other, and I didn't have to worry about it. I knew there was a reason for it. So when the bandages were taken off, I didn't look too bad. I was a little more swollen on one side. I had bruising a little bit more on this side, but not too bad. Over the next few days, the bruising did get worse, but I was assured this is a normal. I was in contact with Rena, who was always very responsive. If I had any question, I would just quickly WhatsApp Rena and she would reply. She would speak to the doctor and would reply, which was fabulous. So I didn't worry about it. I knew they were very open with me that it would take probably a week for that to settle and improve. And that's exactly what it did. I didn't look great for probably about 4 or 5 days. But then it slowly started to improve, and really within probably 10 days, I felt pretty good. But even with that, I was able to go down for breakfast within 2-3 days just by wearing a scarf over my head, just wrapping it around. India is a great place to have to wear a scarf. A lot of people do, so I didn't look unusual at all. So it didn't stop me from doing anything. And pain-wise, look, you feel uncomfortable. I think uncomfortable would be a better way to describe it. I was only prescribed Panadol to have after the operation, and that did the trick. I think I was given medications. So I was given pain medications, I was given creams to put on, and instructions around that as well. So everything really proceeded quite well. I had no problems. Talking about my results, it's exactly as Dr. Gupta and I discussed. So I mentioned before, when I first had my video conference, I was extremely clear. I didn't want a full facelift. I only wanted a mid-lower face. I did not want to look 40 years old. I wanted to look a really good 50, and I am 62. So what I really liked was the doctor was pleased that I said that. He prefers to do a natural result as well. And that's what I feel I got. When I came and actually saw him the day before the operation, or a couple of days before the operation, Dr. Gupta then said to me that he did need to do something extra that he didn't really realise after our video conference. And he actually did say, because of the platysmal cords, he needed to do a little cut under my chin. And he would be very pleased with that result. And I am extremely pleased with the result. That's been very minimal. I've been barely aware of it. But what I love is the fact that I've got quite a smooth jawline now, but I don't look stretched in any way. And that was my biggest fear, was that I would come out of this looking stretched, looking fake, looking like I was trying to be way younger. And even if I didn't look fake, I didn't want to look 40 years old. So it was really important to me that I got a very natural result, where when I go home, people will look and say, gee, you look pretty good. But they might not actually realise that there's a surgery involved. And that to me is an excellent outcome, and I really thank the doctor for it. And I need to talk to you about the doctor. He was a wonderful person. My experience with Doctor and his team. Dr. Rajat, you can see he's very passionate about what he does. He cares, and the great thing is he speaks excellent English. You understand each other really well. There's no language barrier at all, but you can see he really cares about what he does. He's very definite. He knows what his results will be, and he lets you know very clearly. So my experience with him, I think the good thing that I really liked about the doctor too is he's got a great sense of humour. Once I got to meet him, our video discussion was all business, but when I got to meet him in person, we actually had a few jokes. I was here with my partner, and we had a few jokes and I really enjoyed the experience of meeting him. Even when I went into surgery, I don't know if the doctor remembers this, but when I went into the surgery, he was talking with everyone, and they were obviously talking Hindi or Indian, and I didn't understand what was being talked about. And he stopped and he looked at me and he said, "Do you want to know what we're saying?" And I said, "Yes." And then he explained to me, and it was a joke. And I was really pleased that I was then included in what was going on. I felt very calm, and it was really nice to be in a room where people included me in the conversation as well. So he's a lovely person, but more than that, he's extremely